Today, we will look at two horrifying caving stories that ended tragically. The first is an event we've never covered before. It recounts the terrifying story of Amelia, trapped under a flood in a cave with her friends. Don't miss the second one. It tells the heroic tale of the brave dog Rocky, who paid for his loyalty to his owner with his life. On the cold dawn of November 12, 2005, four cavers, Amelia Vaughn, Marcus Tate, Nora Caldwell, and Julian Pierce, set out for Echoing Void Cave in Tennessee. They were seasoned adventurers, captivated by whispers of the cave's labyrinthine tunnels and uncharted chambers hidden deep within its limestone heart. Amelia, the boldest, had years of caving experience, her curiosity insatiable. Equipped with headlamps, ropes, and basic gear, they trusted their skills to carry them. They laughed off the cave's ominous name, eager to conquer its secrets. As they descended, the air was damp and cool, their boots echoing in the vast, shadowed entrance. As the group entered Echoing Void Cave, their footsteps mingled with the unseen drip of water. The main passage was majestic, resembling a stone cathedral with stalactites gleaming in their headlamps. They moved confidently, mapping the route, their lights piercing the dark. Marcus, cautious, noted slippery floors, but the group, entranced by the cave's eerie beauty, pressed on. As they descended deeper, the tunnel narrowed, branching into side passages. Some were too tight to explore, but others beckoned. Nora, charting the route, urged them to stick to the main path. But Amelia's eyes caught a jagged crack in the wall, barely wide enough for a person. "This is it," she said, voice thick with excitement. It was uncharted dangerous, but irresistible. The team hesitated, but Amelia's fire won. They squeezed into the crack single file, here scraping the walls. Amelia led, her headlamp flickering as the passage tightened. The air grew heavy, the walls cold and unyielding. They crawled, then slithered on their stomachs, stone scraping skin. The cracks seemed endless, each turn revealing more rock. Julian, at the rear, mentioned turning back, but Amelia's resolve pushed them forward. Unbeknownst to them, a storm above was swelling an underground stream feeding the cave. Disaster was closing in, silent and swift. The rain outside had intensified, and though the group was unaware, water was seeping into the cave's depths. The passage narrowed to a 45 centimeters wide, 60 centimeters high slot. Amelia, the slimmest, exhaled to fit, inching forward. The others followed, breaths shallow in the claustrophobic space. The walls pressed like a vice, every movement a struggle. Amelia reached a choke point where the tunnel seemed to end. She twisted, but her torso jammed, rocks digging into her ribs. "I'm stuck," she gasped, her voice sharp with panic. The team froze. Marcus tried pulling her back, but she wouldn't budge. Then, a low rumble echoed from below, a faint rush of water. The cave's depths were waking. A trickle appeared, lapping at their boots. The team scrambled, shouting instructions. Nora clawed at the rocks, but they held fast. Julian aimed his light downward, revealing water rising steadily, cold and merciless. Amelia's chest heaved, each breath a battle against stone. The water reached her ankles, then knees, its icy grip stealing warmth. Hypothermia loomed as the cave's chill seeped in. Amelia's fear surged, not just from the pain of being trapped, but the terror of drowning. The teen's tools, ropes, a small pry bar were useless in the tight space. Every tug risked destabilizing the passage, threatening collapse. The water rose, now at Amelia's waist, its pressure pinning her tighter to the rocks. Her headlamp flickered, casting eerie shadows. "Keep going," she shouted, her voice raw. Marcus wedged his shoulder into the gap, straining to free her, but the stone wouldn't yield. Nora and Julian dug frantically, hands bloodied, but the water's force pushed back, filling the passage with a deafening roar. Amelia's breaths grew ragged, her body numb from cold and pain. The water reached her chest, then neck, each wave a reminder of her dwindling time. She fought panic, clinging to hope, but the cave was merciless. Her teen's cries faded under the water's surge. Every second was an eternity, the weight of the mountain and flood pressing her toward oblivion. The teen's efforts faltered. The pry bar slipped, useless against the water's power. Julian checked the oxygen gauge. Less than 15 minutes of shared air remained. Amelia's face, half submerged, was a mix of resolve and fear. "Don't give up," she whispered, but her strength was fading. The water reached her chin, her headlamp dimming. The cave's darkness closed in, amplifying every gurgle, every scrape. The teen knew the truth. The rising flood and tight space could doom the rescue. Amelia's eyes met Marcus's, a silent plea as the water rose higher, threatening to swallow her whole. Hours later, a rescue team reached Echoing Void Cave, but the flooded passage slowed their progress. Armed with hydraulic tools and pumps, they battled the water, but the unstable tunnel resisted. When they finally reached the group, Amelia was barely conscious, her body freed as the water receded. The ordeal left physical and emotional scars. Echoing Void Cave became a grim monument to the perils of exploration, a reminder that curiosity can lead to wonders or disaster. Amelia's survival was a testament to human resilience, but the cave's wrath warned all who dared enter. Nature forgives no mistakes. On the cold, rainy morning of March 7, 2013, passionate caver Isla Thornton set out with her loyal dog Rocky to explore Whispering Depths Cave in Tennessee. This cave, with its labyrinthine passages woven by an underground river, promised mystery and beauty. With limited caving experience, Isla was drawn to the allure of uncharted caves, rumors of hidden chambers fueling her curiosity. Rocky, her sole companion, was trained to navigate rugged terrain and alert her to dangers, bounding alongside with joy, equipped with a headlamp, waterproof gear, a small rope, and a handheld radio. Isla thought she was ready for this challenge, but do you think she was truly prepared? Share your thoughts in the comments. She parked her vehicle at the cave's entrance, the ground softened by rain. The cave's damp air and the distant roar of a waterfall greeted them. Rocky's keen senses guided like a beacon in the dim light. Isla and Rocky entered Whispering Depths Cave, the underground river's roar echoing off shimmering limestone walls. The main passage was initially wide, a stone cathedral with water glinting under Isla's headlamp. Rocky bounded ahead, splashing through shallow pools, guiding Isla with flawless instinct. The cave's beauty was mesmerizing stalactites, dripped like chandeliers, the river's song both soothing and ominous in the dark. But as they ventured deeper, the passage narrowed, the river's edge drawing closer. Side tunnels branched off, some submerged and impassable. Isla knew to stay near the main flow, but the unknown's pull was strong. Rocky paused at a low, jagged opening where the river plunged underground. "What's there, boy?" Isla whispered, aiming her light at a narrow passage where water seeped. It was risky, but the mystery called. Isla hesitated, but Rocky's eager nudge pushed her forward. They squeezed into the passage, the river's current lapping at their feet. The walls tightened, forcing Isla to crouch, her gear scraping slick rocks. Rocky moved nimbly, his barks echoing sharply. The air grew heavy with moisture, the water's roar intensifying. Isla's radio crackled, its signal weakening as they moved farther from the entrance. The passage sloped downward, the river swelling beside them. "We're fine," Isla reassured herself, trusting Rocky's guidance, but the cave held secrets they couldn't foresee. Unbeknownst to them, a storm raged above, feeding the underground river with a deadly flood. The passage shrank to a 60 centimeters high slot, a raging current now beside it. Rocky slipped through with ease, but Isla struggled, her boots slipping on wet stone. The river's roar drowned her thoughts, the air growing colder and heavier. Rocky's barks urged her forward, his eyes glinting in the headlamp's light. Suddenly, a deep rumble shook the cave, not rock, but water. The river surged, filling the passage with water in seconds. Isla scrambled for higher ground, but the current tugged at her legs. Rocky doubled back, barking frantically, defying the flood. He leapt to a narrow ledge above the water, guiding Isla to safety. Isla clawed her way up, heart pounding as the current roared below. But Rocky wasn't as fortunate. The torrent caught him, dragging him into the darkness. His barks were swallowed by the flood. Was Rocky gone for good? Isla clung to the ledge, her headlamp flickering in the water's spray, the cave now a churning cauldron of water. Rocky's desperate barks echoed faintly from the flooded passage below, proof he was still fighting. "Hold on, Rocky," she screamed, her voice lost in the river's roar. The ledge was a precarious refuge, barely holding her. Her radio, soaked in the flood, was dead, and oxygen dwindled in the damp, confined space. Rocky's barks weakened, each one stabbing her heart. The water rose relentlessly, the cave's chill seeping into her bones as hypothermia loomed. Isla's hope faded with each fading bark, knowing Rocky had risked everything to save her. Then the barks stopped. The silence was deafening, the darkness absolute. Isla sat alone, gripping Rocky's leash, praying for rescue. Hours later, a local, noticing Isla's vehicle, alerted a rescue team, reporting someone might be trapped in Whispering Depths Cave's flooded passages. When the team arrived, the rain had intensified, and their equipment struggled under the unstable conditions. Deep in the cave, they found Isla, shivering but alive, clutching Rocky's leash on the ledge. The flood had taken Rocky, his body lost to the dark waters that defined the cave's merciless nature. His sacrifice saved Isla, but at a devastating cost. Whispering Depths Cave stands as a testament to exploration's allure and nature's wrathful price, forever marked by a dog's unwavering loyalty. Rocky's sacrifice cost him his life. We must cherish the place of animals in our lives as long as they exist. What do you think? Did Rocky have any other choice? Isn't the love of friends like Rocky immense? Now, a life filled with pain awaits Isla with the loss of a wonderful friend who will live on only in memories. If Rocky's unwavering loyalty has touched you too, please share in the comments. Subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications. Stay safe.